Guys, we're back, and seriously, I got the coke. Because Jerry Felicio, we're about to find out what has happened over the years. How did he fake his death after Abraham Harris's 1v1 with him years ago? How did it all happen? Let's flash back and see what happened. On October 1st, 2023, the night had settled heavily over Melodrama Heights, casting long, dark shadows across the town. The Felicio household was eerily quiet, the tension in the air almost suffocating. Inside, Jerry Felicio stood in the dim light of the kitchen, the weight of his decision pressing down on him. He knew what he had to do, but the danger was real. Abraham Harris was ruthless, a man who wouldn't stop until he had what he wanted. Suddenly, the door bursted open. Abraham Harris, his eyes wild with anger, stormed into the room, a knife glittering in his hand. Jerry barely had time to react before Abraham lunged at him, the blade slicing through the air. Pain seared through Jerry's side as the knife found its mark, stabbing deep into his flesh. Jerry gasped, stumbling back as blood poured from the wound. Abraham sneered, his voice low and menacing. "You should have stayed out of this, Jerry. You should have known better than to cross me. Boggle will be mine." Jerry gritted his teeth, feeling the life draining from him as he desperately tried to think of a way out. He knew he couldn't take Abraham down in his current state, but he had to survive for his family, for the town, for the chance to bring Abraham to justice. With every ounce of strength he had left, Jerry pushed Abraham away, staggering back towards the kitchen door. His vision blurred, but he knew he had to keep moving. He had to get out. Abraham, taken aback by the force of Jerry's push, stumbled for a moment, giving Jerry the opportunity he needed. He turned and fled out the back door, clutching his bleeding side. The cold night air hit him like a slap to the face, but he kept running, the pain in his side nearly bearable. He heard Abraham's furious roar behind him, followed by the sound of something crashing to the floor inside the house. Jerry didn't look back. He couldn't. He had to get away, had to survive. As he ran, the flames began to rise behind him. Abraham had set the house ablaze, hoping to finish what he started. The fire quickly engulfed the Felicio home, consuming everything in its path. But Jerry kept running, the pain in his side growing with every step, the sound of the fire roaring in his ears. Finally, he reached the edge of the town, collapsing against a tree. His breath came in ragged gasps, the blood loss making him dizzy. He knew he couldn't go to hospital. Abraham would find him there. He needed to disappear, to go somewhere Abraham couldn't find him. As his vision darkened, Jerry made a final decision. He would go into witness protection. It was the only way to keep his family safe, the only way to ensure that Abraham wouldn't come after them next. He fumbled in his pocket for his phone, dialing the one number that he knew he could trust, a contact deep within the government who owed him a favour. "Get me out of here," Jerry gasped into the phone, his voice weak. "Now." The next few hours, were a blur. The pain, the fear, the sense of a loss as he left everything behind. He was whisked away in the dead of night, taken to a safe house far from Melodrama Heights, where he could start a new life under a new name. The wound in his side was treated, but it would left a scar that would never fully heal, a constant reminder of the night he lost everything. For 3 long years, Jerry lived in the shadows, watching from afar as Abraham Harris wreaked havoc on Melodrama Heights. He couldn't intervene, couldn't risk exposing himself, but every day he trained, growing stronger, waiting for the moment where he would finally return and set things right. And then the news came. Abraham Harris was dead. Jerry was released from witness protection immediately. His return to Melodrama Heights, carefully orchestrated to keep him hidden until the right moment. He had to know that the town was safe, that the people he cared about were safe before he could reveal himself. Now in 2026, Jerry stands on the edge of town once he once called home. The memories of that fateful night still fresh in his mind. The scars have healed, but the pain remains. He knows that his return will open old wounds, but it's a price he's willing to pay to finally put an end to what happened on October 1st, 2023.